So I'm going to start adding questions here, and we can get a look for all the different types. So we have multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, fill in multiple blanks, multiple answer, drop down menu, matching, numerical answer, formula questions, essay questions, file upload questions, and text no question. The question I use the most is multiple choice. All you have to do is select it, and then you type in your question. You can, of course, insert an image. Note to the educator, you cannot copy and paste your image here. You need to insert an image from your course or upload it, because it will not appear if you do a copy and paste. So all of the images, if you copy and paste, will appear blank. So make sure you insert image to add one into your question. Then, of course, you're going to do answer, so you can type in your answer here. And right now, we've got 4 possible answers, but let's say you only want 3. You can come over here and delete. Or you can, of course, add another answer, so if you want to do that. Pretty basic, and then you have to click update the question when you're done. Okay, so true or false question looks really similar. It's just true or false, so you get to decide what your question is. Like this statement, is it true or is it false? And then it just gives them an option for true or false. We also have fill in the blank. You write your question here, and then you provide possible answers. So I'll show you what this looks like. Let's say a word for change in position is, so that would be motion. So we could put here, so all of these answers are going to be correct. So we put motion, capitalized, motion, lowercase. Those are really the 2 that make sense to me. So that's how I would leave it. And then I would update questions. So if the student types motion in capital letters, that would work. I guess another option could be all in caps like that. And then I try to do as many as possible. And so sometimes students will be like, does it have to be spelled correctly? And I go, yes. So that way the computer gets it. And then that would be it. So then we can add another question. So that was for fill in the blank. Then you have fill in multiple blanks. And this can get a little tricky. So with this, you're going to enter a question. You basically are putting in brackets. So you would type in plants need blank, comma, blank, comma, and blank to survive. And then like here I would put, oh, wrong one, answer 1, answer 2, and answer 3. Oh, there you go. And so then it would be down here, we would add another possible answer because there's 3. So answer 1, answer 2, answer 3. It generates this for me. So I could put water, sunlight, carbon dioxide. Those are the 3. And then I would just actually copy these here also. Water, sunlight, carbon dioxide. And then, of course, the last one would end up being the same thing. Carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight. And it doesn't matter what order they're in. You can see I changed up the order. These are just the possible answers for answer 1, possible answers for answer 2, and so on. So then we would update this question, and then you can see here this is what it would look like. But actually, I don't even really think that you need these little blanks here like you do for the first one. I think it'll generate for you when you have these compared to the first kind of fill in the blank. Okay, there we go. So that's how that would work. We have another question we can add. So let's take a look at, so multiple answer is like multiple choice, but now you get to select. So I'm just going to write velocity equation is, and then we can put there are multiple answers listed below, or add that into your directions because sometimes the students will get confused. Oh, and grammar, of course, thanks Grammarly. And we come down here and then we're going to add. So let's say I typed in equation 1 just for quickness today, equation 2, equation 3, and let's say that these are the only possible answers. So that means if they select 1 and 2, they would get it right. If they select all 3, they would get partial credit. It just depends on how much value you give to the question. And that actually is up here. So you can provide value points. I forgot to point that out earlier. So this could be 1 point. You could make this worth 2 points since it's got 2 correct answers. But that sometimes kind of gives it away. So it's all dependent on what you want to do as the teacher. And then also, let's say if I did want to add an equation here, it's not that hard to do. You actually would just click edit, and then a little rich content editor here would pop up, and I could actually enter in the equation. Over here, the 3 dots, you would click, and then you would click here for insert math equation. So then we would be able to enter here. So I'm going to do velocity equals, so now I can add my equation here, distance divided by time. So now I can click, once I'm done, I can insert the equation. Now I'll click done, and now we have an equation as an answer. So that's another really nice tool, especially for math and science. Okay, let's do another one. I'll show you the other kinds of questions. So we went over multiple answer. You have multiple drop downs, which is very similar to like fill in the multiple blanks, where you're going to add in the brackets. But note that when they click on it, it's going to show the multiple answers. So meaning, let's just like copy this equation up here. I'll click plants need. So plants need blank, blank, and blank. So the first answer we can put, water is going to be the correct one. We'll do the correct answer for the second question is going to be carbon dioxide. The third one will be sunlight. And so then we can put here coffee, because I really love coffee. And then I can add another one. Let's do milk. And then answer 2, carbon dioxide. A lot of the time students get confused and they think oxygen is one. So you could put oxygen and helium. There you go. And then we could put sunlight. Instead of sunlight, we could do glucose. That's cellular respiration. Sugar. and sugar is glucose. And then save. So now, and I'll show you what these kind of look like once we're done here. So plans need blank, blank, blank. They will have drop-down menus here. Okay, let's do another question. And instead of multiple drop-downs, matching. I really like matching. So we can do match the definition with the correct term. We're going to add. So see, we add the matching here. On this side, so the left side is what they're going to see. The right side are the possible matching answers. So I always like to put the definition, let's say like, they have a bunch of vocabulary words, or even, you could even put a picture up here and then have them match and put like what's point A on the picture and then have the term over here. But I will always have the possible answers on this side, because if you have the definition over here, when they click on the drop-down menu, it's really hard to see and read all the possible answers. On this right side here, you want them to be short because it's a lot easier for the students to read through and pick the appropriate answer. So definition, if you're doing definition like vocabulary words, definition over here, and then the possible term or answer on this side. Then of course you can do like A, B, C. Let's say you have a question where there needs to be labeling. Then let's say A is sunlight. We'll go with the photosynthesis theme. B, we can say, is carbon dioxide. And C is water. So those are like, I'm imagining that there is a plant picture up here. And so part A shows the sunlight, part B shows the carbon dioxide, part C shows water. And then I can add down here additional terms that are not correct to kind of throw them off. So instead of like carbon dioxide, a lot of the time students get carbon dioxide and oxygen confused. But then it says type each distractor on its own line. So oxygen will be a possible answer, and then we'll put glucose as a possible answer, sugar, coffee, because, I'm currently drinking my coffee right now, so that's why I'm thinking about it. And then we will update the question, and it'll only show like this for preview. But again, this is only worth 1 point. And then we got all these extra ones here. We'll just delete those. Since there's 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to make this 4 points. So that way, if they miss one, it's a 3 out of 4. All right, we will update this and add the next question. So we had matching before. Now we have number answers. So this is a really good one for my math people out there. So let's say our question is really simple, which is like, what is 4? And then we will do squared. So when I come down here, the exact answer is 16 with a 0 margin of error. So let's do delete, 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 because we don't have multiple answers here. And so I'm just going to leave it like that because the only answer here would be 16. You also have the option, so like answer in the range of, so let's say, the answer is between 6 and 10. Then Canvas quizzes would mark answers between 6 and 10 correct. And then, so precision has to do with like how many zeros and also whether the number is negative or positive. But we will go back to exact answers, 16, update, and that is the numerical answer. All right, so from numerical answer, you have the formula. Formula question, you have to type in with brackets X somewhere. So let's just do the example. What is 5 plus x. So I'll put it in the brackets. Once I've put x in brackets, then down here it tells me variable definitions. So down here I can add the minimum and maximum variables. So let's just do 20, recompute, and then we have 3 examples. So now I can do the rewrite the formula up here. So 5 plus x. I've generated 8 results. Here, since there are 8 possible results, we'll do 4. So when you generate, it will give you these, and then we will do update. Essay question is very simple for my ELA people. You type a prompt or a question for the students to respond, and really you're just entering the directions in the rich content editor, and then you click update. And for the students, a box will appear at the bottom. The last type of question here. So we have essay question was last one. We have file upload. And before I get to file upload, the text, no question, that can be like a reading or directions, like midway in between. I've used them as directions before, where like the test is really long, and so it's like a pause in the middle of a test, but it's really just a text box that there's no answer. Okay, so file upload, you can add directions here, and then essentially students will upload some sort of document. So I've seen a lot of math teachers use this for uploading a quiz that was like an assignment. So they entered in their answers into the multiple choice options or the fill in the blank to check their work. And then the final question was a file upload, where they had to upload, let's say, a picture of their written work. So that way they had proof that they had completed the assignment. I always thought that was a really awesome way to complete math assignments in Canvas. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to edit the name, because I want to make sure that I can identify it, and I already have magnetism. So I'm just going to type in demo questions, and then, edit demo questions. And it didn't like me that time. So let's actually go back. We will go to, and we'll bookmark this one so it's at the top. And we'll go back to quizzes because it auto-saves. And manage test banks. Here we go. So it's just a lot. My computer is being laggy today. So now that is my question bank. So when I go back to quizzes and I have my lesson quiz magnetism here, which let's just rename it for funsies. Now we're going to add that. We're going to add a question group and then link to a question bank. Demo questions, select bank. And we're going to pick all 10 questions. So creating a question group and then linking it to the question banks that you created is really helpful, because let's say I don't want all 10. I can actually do 3 questions from here, and it will randomly choose 3 for each individual student. And then I can do a new question group and let's say I want 2 questions from any question bank. Let's just do electrical forces for right now. And so that way I can really customize my quizzes, which is super nice here. And what I like about this is, like, for final exams, let's say, you're testing them on multiple units. This is a great way to reuse the questions that you've already created, which is why I do suggest creating question banks and not adding questions into, like, creating the questions within the quiz. So I can create group, or the other option, so I can click cancel, new question. I can add questions just to this test. But like I said, I don't really like to do that. Find questions. So now here is my group. I can select all of them like so, and then add them this way. That's another nice way to do it. So again, the benefit of creating those quiz banks before you like attach them to the quiz or even create questions within a quiz is that you will always have the quiz bank saved separately. So if I were to go, oh, I don't like this question, I can just come up here and delete it and get rid of it completely. And then it's gone from here, and I'll delete this one too because it's blank. And then it's gone from here, but it has not disappeared from your quiz bank. And then if I want to, I can find other questions as well. So this gives you a lot of flexibility. Let's say, 1 year you did all these certain questions, and then you want, like, the following year you need to combine them. It just gives you some flexibility, which is why I prefer to create the questions outside of a quiz. Or again, you can do the new question group. I'm going to do it like this, and then we can see all of the question details. We're going to save this. We are going to preview it, and if you do not preview your quiz before your students, you will be pleasantly surprised come quiz day. I have made this mistake so many times. Even sometimes when I preview it, I always get, Miss Burleson, just so you know, there's a mistake. So anyways, so now we can see what the quiz questions look like. So this is fill in the blank. A word for change in position is motion. So here, plants need water, sunlight, carbon dioxide. So this is what your students would see. And then velocity equations are. So now I see, oh, there's extra boxes here. I need to go back. So that's when you go keep editing and you would edit this question. Let's see. So now we can see this is the multiple drop-down menu, right? Helium. We're just like, I'll show you what it looks like incorrect. So we'll leave it like that. And then match the definition. So now you can see if I had long definitions on this side versus like the terms, it would be very hard to read. Sometimes definitions, like if we're doing vocabulary, match the vocabulary definition and the term. If we do long definitions on this side and the terms over here, it's going to be really hard to match correctly. And sometimes the definitions will even get cut off. So I suggest definitions on this side, terms over here. So question 16, what is 4 squared? 16. What is 5? See, so it generated a random number for me. We saw before all of the different settings. So this was X, but it generated a random number. And so for another student, it would be different, which is kind of nice. So 18. And oh, we've got a random blank there. I'll have to go back and see what I did wrong there. Type a prompt. So here's what an essay question looks like. Hello. This one too, keep in mind, essay questions have to be manually graded. And then here is the upload. So choose a file and then all of your files will pop up. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll click submit so we can see what this looks like. And I did very poorly. So we got a 1 out of 1. This was good. I didn't answer this one because I got stuff wrong. And so you'll see I got partial. The way that I have it set it up is I see that I got this one wrong, but I got partially correct. So it doesn't show me the correct answer. This one we didn't answer. We got this one correct. We got this one correct. I need to go check. See, this is why previewing is so important. So question 8 we need to look at. This one, see, it says not yet graded because I would have to manually grade the responses, and then not yet graded here, but we didn't add a file, so it's unanswered. So let's go back into edit mode, and we'll go to questions and show question details. That's always helpful. And we will go to question. What happened here? Oh, it's just a random, that got in there somewhere. So all we have to do, I'll show you how you can delete this, is we'll click cancel and exit. And yes, we want to delete that question. There we go. The other question we need to edit is this one. So we will click here, and these are just random, so we will delete these two, and then always remember to click update question. I've had so many people, and including myself, forget to do that, and then they come down here and click save thinking that it was saved. It is not. So make sure when you are editing a question individually that you click update question. So that's how I kind of edit as I go.